Hi, it's Nikki and welcome back to Live a Little, your cozy corner of the internet where we explore all of the in-between parts of life, the messy, honest and unfiltered parts where you don't always feel like you have someone to chat about them with, but we do it all judgment-free around here. So, for today's episode, I've got something pretty exciting to talk about, which you've probably seen from the title of this episode. I'm going to the frickin' Oscars! I actually leave for LA in 2 days, but when you listen to this, I would have done the Oscars. So these are kind of like my prior thoughts, talking about how I even got here, my outfit, my anxieties, everything that has been keeping me up at night. And I've been thinking about my imposter syndrome, all the above. I cannot believe I'm literally saying I'm going to the Oscars. I have grown up watching them on TV with my family, talking about who we thought was going to win, what awards, and looking at people's outfits and just kind of watching this thing. And it's not even something that I ever kind of dreamed about going to, because it wasn't, obviously, I'm not an actor, so it's not a space that I ever saw myself in, or something that I thought was a possibility. And I feel like there's been so many things in the past year where, whether it's me walking a runway show or Cannes Film Festival walking that carpet, where I never even put it on my list of things I'd love to do because I didn't ever think it was a possibility. And the Oscars, I mean, it's literally the most important, biggest award in terms of like the film industry and acting industry. Probably it's like I'm on par, if not more than a Grammy. The fact that I am going is actually insane and feels very, very surreal. And at the moment, just still very anxious. I found out that I was going to the Oscars in November. Last year, in about April, May time, I had a meeting with Nicole, who works at the Oscars, while I was in LA, and we just went for a coffee and we discussed the potential of me going to the Oscars. Recently, the Oscars invites around 20 people and a plus one that they can bring to the Oscars that aren't an actor, an actress, or cast and crew, basically, of the things nominated, or the people going, or anyone on the kind of Oscars committee and things like that. We were following each other and she was kind of like, I really love what you're doing. I'd love the potential of you going to the Oscars. But to go to the Oscars, they have to kind of check all of this stuff and do some background stuff. And the actual people high up at the Academy have to approve you to go. So there's a lot of layers. Someone can say, like, we'd love to have you, but to actually have it signed, sealed, delivered is like another thing. She said you'll hear in about September, October time if we can have you. And then October came around, still hadn't heard anything, and I was like, okay, maybe it's not going to happen, but that's okay. Obviously would have been gutted, but it is what it is. There's always next time, maybe. And then November came around and my invite came through and it said the Academy would love to invite Nikki Lilly to the Oscars, which is just, it's such a big moment, not just for me, but I feel like also the facial difference community. Adam, who is an actor that I know and also has a facial difference, is also going this year. So there's 2 people going with facial differences, and that is so special and such like a big statement and a big moment to both be on the biggest carpet in America and both have facial differences. And it's kind of quite like anxiety reducing to know that there's someone else with a facial difference that is taking on that mammoth carpet. So I am very excited, but I feel like my nerves right now and my imposter syndrome is kind of really carrying me through. And I get it. I get if you're listening to this and thinking you're not an actor, you're not an actress, you're not a director, producer, makeup artist, costume designer, any of those things, why are you going? And I promise you, if anyone have those feelings, out of everyone in the world, I have them more than anyone. I think the Oscars and the Academy are trying to diversify the types of people they have at the awards and make it slightly more accessible to other people. And so I'm not going to complain about that. I am going to try my best to enjoy it, because I think if anyone got the opportunity to go to the Oscars, God, would they take it. I feel incredibly grateful, and I know that there's a lot going on in the world right now, and this is just like not really an important thing and that matters in terms of perspective and stuff. But for me personally, obviously, outside of course, me completely understanding there's a lot more important, pressing things going on right now. It is a big deal, and it's something that I think my younger self would be so proud of for. That's how I found out, and it was kind of, yeah, crazy. And then me being like, okay, I have to book my flights, I have to book my hotel, I need to work out my outfit. Are my hair and makeup people going to fly out who normally do my hair and makeup, because I'll only feel comfortable and they'll be the only people I want there. Who am I taking with me? Like, so it was then so many questions, because then it was like, okay, I'm actually going. That's actually happening. Really, really crazy. I think, yeah, that's kind of what it feels like at the moment, is like there's a lot of anticipation. The fact that I'm saying that this week, I'm currently in London filming a podcast at the same time this week. That's actually really crazy. This week, I'm going to the Oscars. This week, on Sunday. Obviously, when you listen to this, it will be post that. But for me, right this moment, I'm going to the Oscars this week. What actually is my life? What is going on? I could be like having a mental breakdown tomorrow, and then I'm at the Oscars on Sunday. That's a really, really mental thought, that it's this week. This week, a hot new bombshell enters the villa. But yeah, I think right now, nerves is kind of the main thing I'm feeling. I'll be going with my manager though, thank goodness, because I think having to brave a carpet like that alone, like, I actually think I would maybe say no to going because of my anxiety and needing emotional support. The fact that they've also given us a +1 is great, because then it kind of takes away that anxiety of just being alone and looking like a lost child on that carpet. It's my first carpet I've ever done in America. And so I think there's a lot of anxiety around that as well, where I'm just kind of like, oh, shit, I've never dealt with American press before. Like, I've been in American press before, but I've never been on a carpet. So I don't know what the photographers are like. I don't know how they're going to shout at me to take photos. I don't even know if they'll take my photo. Am I going to stand there? Is Timothée Chalamet, or I don't know, someone else going to come on that carpet? Brad Pitt, whoever else, are they going to come on that carpet next to me? And then the photographer is just going to like go from maybe taking a couple of photos of me straight to them. And if they do, completely understandable. I get why. But I know that that would make me feel so shit and so anxious. And so I think there's a lot of variables where I'm like, no one in America knows me. I felt the exact same way when I went to Cannes Film Festival. I literally thought I was going to stand there, not get a single photo, feel like that unpicked child at school all over again, which is understandable. I'm not known versus these actors and actresses going, and very rightly so. But equally, I think that you can internalize that a little bit when no one kind of cares that you're on the carpet and you're there. What I'm really nervous about is the glam bot. I've never done a glam bot before, and I know that this is my moment, and this is like the official glam bot. At the Oscars, apparently you can like walk the carpet for around an hour, because there's kind of different things to do. There's interviews, there's activations, there's the glam bot, there's queuing up for these things, the carpet for photos. Actually thinking about it's giving me anxiety. So doing a whole episode on it maybe wasn't a good idea, but equally I need to talk about it, because if I don't talk about it, the anxiety is just going to fester and get worse inside me. I feel like from what I've heard from other people I've not actually mentioned I'm going to the Oscars to many people, because in my life feel like I jinx things health-wise if I kind of say them out loud. And so I've really only told a fair few people, because I'm scared that if I'm kind of like committing to the thought that I am going to the Oscars, even though it literally is this week. For me, the reality of having a medical condition is things change so quickly. Though I'm saying I'm going to the Oscars, until they're actually carried out and done, I won't believe that I'm going. And I think maybe that's what the hard part and the bittersweetness is of having a chronic illness that literally is a day-by-day case, is that I am trying to look forward to them. Although I am just in general nervous, the nervousness is also the flight. How taking a flight that long is not simple for me, and also just like the reality of my life, and that every single day, every hour is different. And so I feel like there's been so many things, whether it be Cannes Film Festival or Fashion Week, Walking the Runway show, or this, where I'm kind of like, I only look forward to it and enjoy it when it's over, and then it's kind of too late, because I was so aware about not making myself look forward to something that may not actually kind of come to fruition. Well, even just small things like seeing my friends or going to a birthday party when I was younger, it's like I'd look forward to things that never happened sometimes. Not, it wasn't 24/7 the case, but it's a real reality of my condition. Things change like that, because this is something that's planned and it can't be changed for me, obviously, and it is what it is. And of course, there's always next year, maybe. That is what gives me anxiety, is when something is unchangeable and is a thing that is just coming up. The closer it gets, the more worried I get that something's going to happen, which is a very real thing that people with chronic illnesses deal with. And so I think I'm just kind of anxious because it's something that I don't know what to expect. And like anything, it comes with a lot of nerves and anticipation and like grey area to feel when you've never done something before. That's kind of how I'm feeling at the moment. I'm looking forward to it, but very lightly. It's more the anxiety and the fear right now that's kind of taking over. So outfit plans, in terms of the prep, when I found out in November, it was like instantly me messaging my stylist Eloise to be like, okay, it's go time, like it's happening. What are we going to do? Initially, we were kind of chucking around ideas of like different outfits I'd love to wear. We had 3 different ideas. One was like 1930s inspired. One was kind of about doing something with a fun shape, because the architecture in California is quite world renowned and quite different. And then the idea was to do something with like feathers, because quite a lot of the Oscars winners in the past have had kind of feathers on their dress, especially the first Oscar winner in 1930, I think it was. We wanted like whatever we did to be like an ode or a homage to, like, look at me saying homage, like basically be a tribute to like what's been done before, but in a Nikki way. If you've seen my outfits before, the Oscars is not the place to like show up and show out. Obviously show up and show out, but it's pretty glam, it's pretty classic, it's just general Hollywood glamour vibes. And so it's not the time to wear like a see-through dress. You probably actually won't get in if you wear a see-through dress. And that's something you wear to like a fashion show or a fashion event. This isn't a fashion event, it's a film event. So the rules are more different and slightly more like cookie cutter, which is fine. I think you can still have like a glam classic moment, but make it your own. We ended up going with the feather idea with like a 1930s twist on it. And initially we were kind of looking at the way that when you have an event, it works is that brands will agree to loan you an outfit. They can obviously also say no, and you're more likely to hear a no if you're not a big name. Like, I'm sure that if Margot Robbie requested whatever she wanted, she would get it. But it's also just incredibly saturated, and a lot of times brands only have one of that dress, so they have to like hold it and wait for a big name or the right person they feel to wear it. It's a lot of it's pretty like cutthroat, a bit like acting, where it's like yes, no, and might be an outfit or a dress that you're dead set on wanting, and the brand's just like, no, sorry, we can't accommodate that, or it's just been worn or something. So initially we were just going to request outfits, but then the requesting process just became incredibly like stressful. And so it got to a point where Eloise was kind of like, would you be open to doing a custom? And normally customs are really, really expensive unless the brand is paying for the custom, which for a lot of the A-listers they do. Eloise showed me this brand called Lucian, which is this brand based in France. And when I went to Paris Fashion Week last week, I actually had my first fitting with them. And they agreed to doing a custom. They've also done all things for Rosalia, Rosé, Gracie Abrams, like a bunch of amazing people. So it's an amazing brand to work for. And the just the talent is insane. And as soon as I saw their stuff, I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. I think I was kind of anxious about doing a custom, because when you do a custom, you agree to that, because obviously people are putting their time and effort into that one outfit. And so there's no other option. There's no like, of course you can have a backup outfit, but ultimately you have to wear that. Understandably so. It's people's hard work, effort and time put into something. So then you not wearing it is just not a possibility, unless there's a real reason why. That kind of scared me, is then having a lack of choice elsewhere and then being like, but what if I'm not 100% set on it and sure about it? Then we had our first fitting and we had a real back and forth. I was just showing Poppy, my producer, who I'm always talking about now in like every episode. I don't even need to say my producer now, my dress for the first time, and she audibly gasped. So if that is the reaction I got from her, and it seemed sincere, which it was, then I mean, I'm hoping I get the same reaction when I get onto that carpet and I can get on a couple of best dressed lists with the likes of like Jessie Buckley and the other people that are there. We have a lot of back and forth, but I'm so happy with it. I think it's really perfect. And when I had my fitting, the team was so lovely in Paris. I actually cannot believe they're turning this around in less than a week. Do you know how insane that is for like a custom dress? It's mental. So I feel very grateful that they've done that for me. It's always last minute, but it's kind of nice to be like, I'm wearing this and no. And then I sent my dress sketch into my chat, which has Eloise and Kate and Andrew, who do my hair and makeup. And they were like, okay, like, well, let's get going with this. I think for my hair, I want something very classic. So like a loose wave and then pretty classic makeup with maybe a slight wing or something. But ultimately, the outfit is the star of the show, and it's, again, not a time to go crazy. Of course you could, but like more classic. So I want to keep it quite classic. But the dress is incredible and I'm so happy with it. And as soon as I had the fitting, took my mum. And my mum, love her, but she can be a real critic. And so she'll say, it's a mum thing, isn't it, to just say what they're thinking. She was like, yeah, I think this is it. And she's really also quite happy with it. And so actually after this, I'm going to my final fitting for the dress. So please cross your fingers for me that I'm happy with it. But Lou, who is the founder of the brand and the designer, is actually coming from Paris today to London just for me to do the final fitting of the dress, which is just incredible. So yeah, I feel very grateful. The imposter syndrome is real. Like, why am I going? Why are you doing this for me? I'm like feeling that a lot right now, but I'm trying to override it with like, they've chosen me for a reason. This is an amazing opportunity. I'm very grateful. I'm trying to like meet it with gratitude, basically, then be like, why the hell are you going? Be the devil on my shoulder. But yeah, it's been like pretty stressful just with packing, and it's literally going to be 33 degrees when I get there. I'm going from grey London, which is like 10 degrees at a push, to 33 degrees. I actually don't cope very well in the hot weather, so I don't know what I'm going to do, especially wearing that dress on Sunday when it's going to be like 30 degrees and the carpet's outside. Something out there, please help me so that my makeup doesn't sweat off as soon as I leave my hotel room, please. Thank God for air conditioning in America. Like, we have that nowhere in London. But I mean, when you're reaching temperatures like that, you need the aircon. But there's so many good films this year. So I feel like it's like such a good year to be going. There's One Battle After Another. There's Hamnet, which I still need to see. There's so many films I actually still need to see. So I want to download them onto my laptop and rent them and try and watch them. Because I think it's so fun to be able to play along and be like, I think this person's getting leading actor. I think this person's getting motion picture of the year or costume design or whatever it is. I've not seen Frankenstein still. There are so many films I actually haven't seen that are up just because I missed the window that they're in the cinema. And then I was like, okay, where can I watch them? And I feel like it's too soon before they're actually on the aeroplane. So I think I'm going to have to rent them on my laptop. I've heard that Hamnet's amazing. So I think Jessie Buckley will win leading actress on the run that she's had. I've also not seen Sinners, which is actually crazy because I feel like everyone and their cat and their dog and their mum has seen Sinners. I was a bit like, about watching it because it's about vampires, but I actually feel like it could be really good. And my brother said it was his favourite film of the year. So with that being said, I want to watch that. There's so many films I want to see. I want to download them and watch as many as I can on the plane, but I'm also kind of dreading watching Hamnet because I know the story and I've heard that it is brutal and very, very emotional. And it literally takes an advert on TV to make me cry. I think the people around me will be worrying if they see me watching Hamnet on the plane. I think no one really gets, I'm not even a leading actor or actress going, but I don't think anyone kind of sees the real behind the scenes, like how many people are involved in and how much time it takes from like the beginning of getting an invite to something to like the fruition and carrying out of it. I want to watch more of the films and then I'm going to do a whole episode on films and stuff because if you didn't know, I'm like really into my films. I'm a real film buff. I mean, there's still so many films I haven't seen, and 2 of my top 4 on Letterboxd are Ratatouille and Step Brothers. So it's so funny. I've got like 2 deep cut films, like 2 really deep films. Right now it's Moonlight and it's After Sun, which are both A24 films. A24 also used to be so much better back in the day, by the way. I've got Moonlight and After Sun and then Ratatouille and Step Brothers. But you know what? I'm just a girl. And like, as much as I could actually have 4 like really niche film centric filmophile films, that's just not reality. Like, the reality is you need light films and easy films and comforting films that become favorites on hard days, and you need the films that like changed you and resonated with you. Maybe I'll have a couple more to add to my 4 favorites and they might get interchanged by the ones I watch. I've heard One Battle After Another is really good, so that could also win motion picture. I think Michael B. Jordan is going to win leading actor. I just have a feeling based on him getting the critics, I think it was the Actors Award last week. So that's what I'm thinking. What am I most looking forward to? I'm most looking forward to just kind of being there, being on the inside of something that I've looked up to and watched for so many years. It's like breaking that fourth wall and being like in something that you've watched. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to fangirling on the carpet over people that I see in the distance. I'm looking forward to wearing a dress, and like dress that I also will get to keep after. I was also saying to Poppy that like if I ever have children, if they play their cards right, they might just be able to wear my Oscars dress to their wedding, or maybe even to their prom. No, that their prom is pushing it. Like, come on, but to their wedding, that is not something many people can say. I'm wearing my mum's dress she wore to the Oscars to my wedding, and I actually think it could be a wedding dress. It is mainly white, so you never know. Or maybe no, I wouldn't wear it to my wedding. I'll leave that as the Oscars moment for me. But the fact I get to keep it is like a little time capsule for me and is so special. It's like a moment frozen, so that would be amazing. I think I'm also just really curious like who's gonna perform this year, because last year it was Ray, who was incredible, and also Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. That was such a moment. So I'm kind of sad I probably miss out on that, but I'm really excited for who else is going to perform. I actually really don't know this year. Like last year, it was kind of like you could think that maybe they would perform, but I don't know this year because Wicked 2 never got nominated for anything, which I actually really enjoyed Wicked 2. It felt a bit more deep and impactful in a different way than Wicked 1, but that's my take on it. I think I'm just interested to see how different it will feel being in it versus watching it on TV, and will I, once I'm in it, be able to still watch it the same way after? Because whenever I've done a show that I've been like partaken in, whether that be like tiny little things like Junior Bake Off, or I was on like a celebrity version of this show in the UK called Glow Up, which is this like makeup competition, I then have this inability, or I've even met people from shows, like there's shows I've watched and then I've become friends with some of the people in it, and I'm like, I can't watch this the same now because I know you. It's again breaking that wall. So will it be the same for the Oscars? Who knows? I've not got any really expectations of it. I'm not like, oh, I hope it's everything I dream of, because I didn't even dream of this, you know? So it's like going is just like a completely left field, massive dream come true opportunity, really, that is like a once in a lifetime thing. But I hope I just don't embarrass myself. I hope I don't feel embarrassed. Thinking about it now is making me anxious. So God knows how I'm going to feel on the day. I've got like all of my team that I could hope would be there. My manager coming with me, my stylist coming to LA. She's actually on my flight. My hair and makeup people, Kate and Andrew, who do my makeup for these big events, coming with me and are just great energy. So I've also got my friend Alicia traveling with me. I've spent the whole morning on the phone to customer service for the airline I'm flying with. And I think there's nothing bigger than a mood killer than being on the phone to customer service for like hours. So I was like in the car on the way here, just on the phone to customer service for the airline, just for a thing about seats and tickets and stuff. And it's just the most stressful thing. But I've got Alicia coming with me, who's my best friend and has been with me to LA before. So it should be good. I just hope everything aligns for me, and please cross your fingers for me that everything does, because I deserve that, you know? Like, I've had a really, really hard few months health-wise, and I just want this to be smooth and easy for once, and just to feel beautiful and to feel good and to feel happy and positive. Like, among everything, that's all I want, is just to feel internally good and my health to be okay for literally just the time I'm there. I just want everything to align for me as it should, basically. This moment is massive. It's historical for me to be on the carpet. I don't know if they've really ever had, bar like Adam, who went last year, who has a facial difference because his film was nominated that he was in. I don't know if they've ever had people with facial differences on the carpet. So that's massive. But then just going, if someone told me even a year ago, before I met with Nicole in LA, you're going to be going to the Oscars, by the way, I would have been like, yeah, you're funny. So the fact that I'm going is just huge. It's a massive moment for me more than anyone. It's so weird. It's like still quite surreal. I think things like this never feel real till you're in them, and even then. But I really want to try my best to be present and take it in. Like, I want to just like take in the carpet and take in what I'm actually doing, because I don't think I ever take in the significance of anything I'm doing till it's over. It has happened in practically everything in my life. I want to really just try and cherish the moment and take like pictures in my head of it and remember it forever, basically. But I'm so grateful. This wouldn't be happening without your support and you guys. And I'm also just really kind of proud that the Oscars have invited me, and very proud that they want me there. And I'm really grateful to the Oscars that they are recognizing and seeing people like me and saying, you know, we want you in rooms like this. It's big in so many ways, But I think something that I always do is I catch myself as soon as I start looking forward to something and then just pause the looking forward to it and introduce the anxiety element of it, the it's not going to happen and all of that negative mindset. And so my thought of the week for you is, what are you looking forward to right now? And are you letting yourself look forward to it? Because that is something that I'm truly feeling very much right now. I feel like I'm like stopping myself as soon as I'm looking forward to it, because I'm like, well, Nikki, you have a lot of evidence to prove that as soon as you look forward to something, you jinx it. And I'm really trying to kind of like push through that and be like, no, you can look forward to something. At the moment, it is still happening. But I think in my mind, I'm like, well, if you look forward to it and it doesn't happen, that fall emotionally is even bigger because you let yourself look forward to it. So it's a self-preservation thing, but it's not helpful in any way, obviously, because then you look forward to nothing. And I think sometimes we hold back our excitement because we are scared of that disappointment, and we try not to get our hopes up just in case things don't go the way that we imagined. But I'm learning that it's okay to let yourself enjoy just the anticipation itself and to let yourself feel excited about something that is hopefully coming and on the way, because not every moment has to be protected in advance. And so I'm trying to just take things day by day and just enjoy the journey itself. So that's where my head is at right now before night happens this week. There's something I think quite special about the like before of a big moment. I kind of feel like it's my wedding, and it's definitely not. It's kind of, I think there's something like scary right now that I don't know how it's going to unfold, but that leaves so much room for anticipation. And what if this happens? What if that happens? I want to capture that feeling while it's still here, and before that, the Oscars will eventually become a memory. So on the next time that I see you, I'm going to do a little Oscars debrief, because I'm sure a lot of what I'm imagining right now will turn out to be completely different in reality. So I will let you know what it's like, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the embarrassing, which I'm sure there will be something, knowing me. What will surprise me, and whether any of my predictions were remotely accurate. Will Michael B. Jordan win? Will Jesse win? But yeah, for now, I love you. Thank you for listening. Wish me the best of luck. And literally, what the hell? The Oscars? What? I'll see you soon. As always, remember to be kind to yourself and live a little. Bye.